Conducting by heart or not? Well, I would say that conducting by heart is really important, and most of all gives you the chance to be free and to really have the chance to get into the music and go deep into the music and be really one thing with the music without any distraction, without turning pages, without looking down, etc. And, most important, gives the conductor the chance to do one of the most important things when you conduct. To use the eyes, not simply to read, but to look at the players and, have a connection between himself and the players. This is something so important because, of course, you have to conduct with your gestures, with the arms, etc. But the eye contact is amazingly and surprisingly good also in a psychological sense. Because when the player is playing or maybe has to get in at a certain point, and the moment is coming, he is getting ready, and now he has to get in. But the conductor is looking somewhere else, is looking down or is looking in the wrong direction, and he has to get in, and maybe he will, if he's a good player, he will get in as well, but not with that mood, not feeling the relationship with the conductor and, of course, with all the other players. He will feel somehow alone. So, okay, now I have to play. I know it because I see the score. So I know my part and I play. But it's not just like being unit. Being one thing. When you conduct this kind of passage with the eyes, the person is really opening up. Like, he's waiting for me. And he's inviting me. So it makes really a world of difference between the two. You can imagine, for instance, the second movement of the Dvorak Symphony from the New World. And you have those initial bars with the strings, very piano, and then the melody with the English horn get in. So softly and produces that magic sound, So the player is right there and he knows that he has to get in. There's no way he can be wrong because it's really easy. But the way he gets in is completely different if you do, as a conductor, pom pom, ta ta ta, or you do pom pom, you make him or her feel that you were waiting for him or for her. Everybody were waiting for that special very moment. And it's totally, totally different. So my suggestion is, if you can study the score very well, conducting by heart is a very good idea. Of course, if you cannot be ready with the score, let the score understand. Because otherwise, if you get lost, the orchestra gets lost, you don't know what to do, and it's very dangerous. Some conductors know the piece perfectly well by heart, but they keep the score. For instance, Maestro Muti, Riccardo, always the score, but he knows perfectly well the score. Why that? Sometimes it's just a way to feel more confident because he was always used to have the score, and so he keeps the score there. But if you take a look at Maestro Muti, for instance, he's conducting and he's turning the page without even looking down. So it's really something that it's not needed, but it's there. And last thing, why when you perform a solo concert, the score of the conductor is always there. Well, of course it's possible to conduct a solo concerto without a score. But this is something that is always being like this, basically because the solo player sometimes plays with the orchestra and sometimes, walks away with different phrases, with somehow fighting with the orchestra. That's the real nature of the solo concerto. And so having the score allows the conductor to keep under control every single note of the solo player. Even a very hard and difficult cadenza, you can read it, you can follow it, and so you can really create a good connection between him and the orchestra. So basically this is the reason why when you see a solo concerto, you will see the score on the stand of the conductor. But of course, if a conductor really wants to do that, he could.